April 3rd, 1968. The skies over Memphis were heavy with rain and history. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a man who had carried the weight of a nation's hope on his shoulders, was about to give what would unknowingly become his final speech. But behind his smile was exhaustion, threat, and a sense that time was running short. The sanitation workers of Memphis had gone on strike after years of unsafe conditions, racism, and poverty-level wages. When two black men were crushed to death in a garbage truck, the city refused to take responsibility. Dr. King came to Memphis not for glory, but for justice. He saw in their struggle the same fight he had faced his entire life. By this point, King had been threatened, harassed, and called a traitor. The FBI watched him constantly, and yet he pressed on. Even when his closest friends begged him to rest, he knew the fight wasn't over, and neither was his mission. April 3rd, King was in Memphis to support the striking workers. That night, a storm swept through the city. Crowds nearly stayed home until word spread, Dr. King will speak tonight. They gathered inside the Mason Temple, soaked and tired, but full of faith.
We've got some difficult days ahead, but it doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop, and I've seen the Promised Land.
He spoke not with fear, but with peace, as if he knew his journey was almost over.
Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place, but I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will.
As he reached the climax of his speech, his voice shook the room.
And he's allowed me to go up to the mountain, and I've looked over, and I've seen the Promised Land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the Promised Land.
Those who were there said he seemed at peace that night. Lighter somehow, as if he'd already made peace with his fate. He had delivered hundreds of speeches, but none like this. It wasn't a call to arms. It was a farewell. The next evening, April 4th, 1968, 6:01 p.m., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stepped onto the balcony of his motel room. A single shot echoed through the Memphis air. The world stood still. The dreamer was gone, but his dream lived on. Over half a century later, his voice still echoed, a reminder that courage can outlive bullets and love can outshine hate. This was Eternal Stories, because some stories never die.
Hold me close inside this moment, let the world dissolve away.